Samoa Joe, and you're listening to the Ringside Report.
Yeah. Check 1 2 1 2. Check. This is me, John.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check.
Yeah. You're good. Okay. Johnny, what's going on? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. What's up, Big Johnny?
Well, I had fun meeting your girlfriend's mom. That was fun.
Yeah.
Hanging out with your son, too.
Yeah. Me and my girlfriend weren't here when you got here. And, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
My mother-in-law was babysitting my son for a little bit.
It's fun to, talk to her and
Did she give you any ammunition for the pre-show? Anything you can use on the show here, John?
I'd never, use anything against you.
Oh, no. Only on Twitter. It's funny how you're so much nicer to me when we're right here next to each other, when we're talking to each other. When we're in person, we're like best friends. When we're on Twitter, we're like mortal enemies for some reason. I don't know why you always got to be trolling me on Twitter, but you're like constantly doing it. We're tight. It's weird. Like, we're friends, right? Right?
I think you're taking it the wrong way on Twitter. I think it's more like devil's advocate on Twitter.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like your Wrestling Uncensored persona. Even when you agree with me, sometimes you disagree with me just to piss me off.
Well, yes and no. I do believe Randy Orton is one of the best wrestlers of all time, and people should aspire to be like Randy Orton. I truly believe that. And I know, right now, it looks like you're going to die because you just drank something. I
almost spat out my coffee when you said that. Oh, my God. What do you mean he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time? You don't believe that.
No, I do believe
Get
that.
the hell out of here.
Everything he does, it has meaning to it.
Yeah. So you're giving me your top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time? You're going to say Randy's in there?
He's in top 10 at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, 100%, without question.
Really? I disagree. I don't even think you mean that. I think if you started going through your top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time, Randy would not make your list.
Oh, I think it would be hard not to put Randy on that list.
You're ridiculous.
He's so good.
So where does Bret Hart rank?
I mean, obviously, Bret would probably be number 1.
How about Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio?
Chris Jericho.
AJ Styles. All those guys below Randy?
Chris Jericho, maybe Ray. That's about it, though.
So you'd say Randy over Eddie?
AJ.
Randy
AJ.
over Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah.
Randy over AJ Styles?
No, maybe not AJ.
Randy over Kevin Owens? Randy over Sami Zayn?
This is where, yes, over Sami Zayn, yeah.
Randy over Shawn Michaels?
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Randy over Steve Austin? Randy over The Rock?
That's tough.
Randy over Mick Foley?
Over The Rock, yes.
Randy over The Undertaker?
Mick Foley's tough. See, I mean, this is why he's top 10, not top 5.
No, he's not top 10, John, because I'm pretty sure I've named a bunch of guys that you're like, no, not that guy. Oh, wait, no, not that guy.
I think
not Foley,
5
not
or 6.
AJ, not, come on now, John. Not Brett, not... Come on.
See, this is why he's probably 6 or 7, it sounds like.
Randy over Okada?
Yeah, Randy over Okada.
Well, you don't watch Okada, so what do you know? Okada over everybody. Except for Suzuki. Suzuki over everybody.
You know what helps a lot, too, is longevity. Man, he's been in WWE so long.
Yeah, I know. He's been in WWE for so long. I was happy to see him win this week.
That was a great surprise. That may have, I think I even stated it, too. It may have been, one of the best moments of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was probably the moment of the pay-per-view. We saw something that we weren't really expecting. And it was the first time ever. I mean, Randy, like you said, he's been in the company for so long. How many firsts does he have left? First time he wins a U.S. title.
Well, he's got to win that Universal Championship. I think that should be next on his list.
Oh, my God. Bite your tongue.
No. I think, honestly, he'll probably drop it at Mania and then get drafted to Raw, and he's going to become Universal Champion. And again, don't spit out your coffee, please.
My goodness. So Randy Roman is the feud that you want to see going forward after WrestleMania? Randy versus Roman, the ultimate feud. Man, if you thought Randy versus Jinder versus Bobby Roode couldn't get any better, Well, strap on your seatbelts. It's Randy versus Roman.
Well, let's hope Braun wins the championship, and then Randy can beat Braun for the championship.
Why is Braun winning the title in your world? When does that happen? Braun's a new tag team champion.
You hear the rumor that apparently it's going to be Elias?
Teaming with Braun?
Yeah. Kind of crappy, but that's the
Yeah,
rumor.
whatever. Fine. I don't care.
Big Show would have been great, I think, but I guess Big Show's no longer in WWE. So
Or Kane?
I don't know if Kane really makes a lot of sense. Like, Elias makes more sense.
Why?
Like, he took him out. He beat him on the last man standing and sent him to the hospital.
What happened with Braun and Kane? Didn't Braun send Kane to hell or something?
Well, that's what I meant. Like,
yeah, but didn't he had a feud with Elias too, Braun?
yeah, the same thing happened. But I think with Kane, it's worse because Kane is very vengeful and he always holds a grudge. Elias, we haven't really seen that so far from him. If anything, he seems actually a bit softer.
Yeah, he seems pretty soft. SAWFT. Whatever happened to that Enzo Amore guy?
Hopefully we'll see him on Impact pretty soon.
Yeah, maybe. Enzo Arndt. That'll be his Impact name. Is Impact still a thing?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, like, we got, like, a tweet this week about Impact.
What?
Yeah, we did. Like, someone asked us about the incident that happened with Eddie Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Sami Callihan.
Yeah, he got hit with a baseball bat in the face.
Yeah.
It was an accident. He didn't mean to smash him in the face. He just didn't pull back enough on that baseball bat shot to the face. It happens. I know a lot of people are mad at Sami Callihan for one reason or another, but it could have easily happened with a steel chair. It just happened with a baseball bat, right?
I think a lot of people have issue with the fact that he clearly missed that chair by more than a mile. And it's such a dangerous spot. Like, you should put a little bit more care into it. I think the careless comes up a lot, I think, when you look at that kind of spot. And I think that's what a huge problem people have with it. And the fact that Eddie Edwards almost lost his eye over that.
Yeah.
You know, was it worth it for that? I mean, maybe they're making the most out of it now, I think. But I hope they don't do that spot ever again.
I think the most offensive part of the whole thing is that Sami Callihan has some sort of Ohio-based faction. Like, what the hell is that?
Well, that's his thing, though.
That's stupid. Ohio versus everyone? That's your faction? So what's your deal? We're from Ohio! Okay? And we like being from Ohio, and we don't like other people that aren't from Ohio. Okay? That's your gimmick? Yeah! Ohio versus everyone. I'm like, change the channel. That's your faction? You freaking kidding me? So bad. That is the worst idea for a faction that I've seen in a very long time. So bad. Ohio versus everyone? What the hell is that? Who cares about that? Who cares? I'm sitting here in Montreal. You think I give a shit about Ohio? Like, I got no problem with people in Ohio. I got no problem with people that aren't in Ohio. Why do I need an Ohio-based faction? It's bizarre. Like, just pick any random state, you know? Tennessee versus everyone. Okay, you're from Tennessee, and everybody else isn't. So, what? What kind of stupid group is that? Terrible. I hate that. I saw that one time. I was like, what the hell is this? Ohio versus everyone? What are you? You bow down to The Miz? Is The Miz your god? Oh, man. You know, it'd be great if Ohio versus everyone got The Miz, because he's like the greatest wrestler in the history of Ohio, right? Or Dolph Ziggler. Or Dean Ambrose. Oh, man. Ohio's got some real stars. Sorry, Ohio, but your wrestlers are jabronis.
I like this gimmick more than the hacker gimmick he had. I don't know if you remember that in NXT.
Yeah, I like that gimmick better.
I didn't really think he pulled it off that well.
No, but it made more sense than, like, I'm from Ohio and I hate everybody who isn't from Ohio. It's weird. It's a weird gimmick. And I don't think it really translates to anybody outside of the Ohio area. Like, if you're in Ohio and you're like, oh, man, there's an Ohio faction on wrestling, I'm sure you're hype. But, like, anybody outside of Ohio, maybe the bordering states get it. But for me, sitting here in Canada, I don't get it. I don't get Ohio versus everyone. It makes no sense to me. And I'm sure our friends out in England and Ireland and all over the world that are listening to us don't really get it. I think the only people that get it are people that are in Ohio and maybe the bordering states. Maybe.
But his heart's into it, unlike the hacker gimmick.
Yeah.
When you have passion, when you care about something, I think it shows a lot more, and it shows with this gimmick.
Doesn't mean it doesn't suck.
Well, it's Impact. You're not going to like it anyway, so.
I might.
Really? Like, what an Impact do you like?
Alberto Del Rio?
Really?
I like him. I don't really watch him. I mean, I know he's there. I'd prefer he'd be in New Japan because I'd actually watch him if he was there. His matches would probably be better, too. Man, imagine if he was in Japan. Del Rio versus Naito. That'd be dope.
Well, the fact that they're doing this Impact versus Lucha Underground like show, and maybe that might spawn off into more shows like that, I think you might get some really intriguing matches then. I think there's a very good chance you'll get Ray versus Del Rio again.
Yeah, all right. I'm not that excited about it. And isn't Ray going to WWE?
Is he? I heard he tore his bicep, so.
Yeah, but I heard he's still going to go to WWE.
Well, I don't think it's going to be at Mania. Mania looks pretty packed, so.
Yeah. Unless Ray's going to be Braun Strowman's opponent.
Yeah.
I mean, a tag team partner.
I don't know
Little
about
Big. Team Little Big strikes again, right?
Yeah.
He had so much fun with Alexa Bliss, he decided he wants another little person to team with. Not like a little person, but, a smaller person than him. Ray.
Well, he was teaming with the Big Show once, so why not?
Yeah. It works. WWE likes to do that, a giant and a smaller guy.
I honestly believe the best choice is just Braun versus the Bar. That's it.
I don't like that choice at all because, Braun should lose.
Who's to say he's not going to win the championship, but win the match? I think that could happen.
What do you mean?
A DQ kind of finish.
Yeah,
or
that's
walk
fine.
out.
But, for WrestleMania, that's what you want to see? A handicap match for the tag titles with a DQ finish? It's kind of weak.
I didn't want to be in this position in the first place, but they decided to go this direction because they don't have any other tag teams, apparently.
Got nothing. Well, they had other tag teams. They just feel that they're not worthy. You saw their tag teams.
Yeah, and they destroyed pretty much all their tag teams, right?
Yep. Buried their whole tag team division on Raw this week. We're going to get to that on the main part of the show. I do want to plug some New Japan stuff. I did a New Japan podcast this week after the first round. I'm going to do another one after the semifinals because the quarterfinals and the semifinals are happening too quickly. I don't have time to jump in and do a podcast before the semifinals start because, the quarterfinals ended, and then the next night it's, the semifinals. But the finals are Wednesday, so before the finals, I'll recap the quarters and the semis, and then I'll preview the finals. My pick to win, Zack Sabre Jr. I know I picked at the beginning. I think I maybe picked Tanahashi to win the whole thing.
Yep.
But I changed my mind after the first round after seeing Zack Sabre Jr. beat Naito in the opening match, the biggest surprise of the whole tournament so far.
Very shocking.
Yeah. Naito goes down to Zack Sabre Jr. Naito, by the way, won the New Japan Cup last year, and this year he was eliminated in the opening round. Naito gets eliminated by Zack Sabre Jr. ZSJ moves on to the quarterfinals to face Kota Ibushi. Talk about a dream matchup for 205 Live, right? Those are both guys WWE tried to get, and they turned down the WWE. They were both in the Cruiserweight tournament, were they not?
They were, but I can understand, given the WWE schedule and New Japan schedule, what's more appealing?
Well, look at where they are in New Japan. They're being treated like the stars that they are, like the top guys that they are. Zack Sabre Jr. may be facing Okada for the world title, and Ibushi's one of the top stars in Japan. Why go to the WWE when you're going to be a jabroni on 205 Live when you can be in Japan and be one of the top guys? It makes way more sense financially and as far as creatively. So Zack Sabre Jr. beat Kota Ibushi in the quarterfinals, and now he's going to go on to the semis where he will face... Who's he facing? Oh, he's taking on Sonata?
Wow, Sonata got that far.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's taking on Sonata. Sonata won his opening round matchup against... Oh, man, I forget now. Let me get the New Japan Cup up. Sonata just beat Toru Yano in the quarterfinals. So it'll be Sonata versus... Oh, shit, I'm going to spoil myself. Wait, no, I don't want to look at this because I'm going to see spoilers. John, you just tell me. I don't want to look. I don't want to look at the semi results. Just tell me the the opening round. Who did Sonata wrestle?
Sonata, Chucky T.
Ah, yes. That was actually a really good match. I can't believe I forgot about that. But yeah, Sonata beat Chucky T in the opening round, and then he beat Toru Yano, and now Sonata's going to move on to face Zack Sabre Jr. in the semifinals, and then the other semifinal, it's Tanahashi versus Juice Robinson. So I think it's going to be Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. in the finals, and then I think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to win and go on and face Okada. Okada needs a new challenger, and I think ZSJ is the guy. ZSJ is manager now, the guy that's cutting all the promos for him. Taka Michinoku cutting a hell of a promo for Zack Sabre Jr. It's very good.
Really?
Yeah, it's like half Japanese and half English. Very good. He is Submission Master. He is ZSJ. He is Zack Sabre Jr. Great promo. And he does all this stuff before. He says this thing, and then the crowd answers him. I don't know what he's saying because it's in Japanese. It's pretty confusing. All the Japanese. Yeah, I don't speak Japanese.
It's not the Kaientai style promos then.
No. Very different. Very different. He says, "Come over here." Very good. I love Taka's promo. Taka's Zack Sabre Jr. promo is fantastic. So I did a show. You can download it. I also did a Fastlane review. You can download that. I was very busy this week, John. Very busy.
I salute you, man. That's a lot of work you put in. Amazing.
I watched a lot of wrestling this week. Every single day I watch wrestling. Some days I watch 2 shows.
Well, I look forward to doing the pre- and post-show with you for WrestleMania.
Yeah. I'm excited. We're 3 weeks away from the Big Daddy. The granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's shaping up.
Yeah. We got most of the cards set right now.
I think it's the matches that we're not too sure about. That's actually the most interesting matches, actually.
Yeah, Cena, Shane.
Well, I guess, I was going to say Kevin and Sami, but I guess that kind of all piles in with Shane, yeah.
Yeah. Hell of a bump by Shane there at the end of Smackdown.
Well, as of right now, it's just Kevin and Sami, right?
As of right now.
So.
But
at least it's not Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah. And at least there's no Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal.
Well, we can get to that.
We will get to that. Thank you. That was all me, by the way. Stephanie McMahon listening to me once again. Thank you, Steph. Love you.
It's great to have a week where there's a lot of controversy in WWE. You know it's been a good week when WWE's in the news, and it's not always for the right reasons.
It's been such a long week of wrestling. Fastlane feels like months ago. Because I've watched the New Japan Cup all week and Raw and SmackDown. I've watched so much wrestling. Fastlane is like 25 hours ago in wrestling terms, you know? I've watched like 20-plus hours of wrestling since Fastlane. I can't really remember what happened. So, if you want my full Fastlane recap that I did right after the show when it was fresh in my mind, I was on Periscope with you guys. It's on YouTube right now. If you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, and the dot is spelled D-O-T-N-E-T. So you go Ringside Report, D-O-T-N-E-T, on YouTube. And you got our Fastlane show. Wrestling Uncensored is going to be up on YouTube now. We're really revamping the YouTube channel. That's the next thing that we're doing as 2018. It's a big tooling up, kind of pushing forward year for Wrestling Uncensored. You're seeing the extra content. You're seeing the YouTube channel pop up. There's going to be more and more Wrestling Uncensored going forward in 2018. A big push for 2019. Freedom 35.
Trailer Park Boys, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right. Freedom 35. John, maybe. Maybe we could retire at 35. Although, are you there yet?
Yeah, next year, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Freedom 35, brother.
Better do some work.
That's what I'm saying. We're putting in work now so we can retire at 35. And by retire, I mean just talk about wrestling 24/7. I mean, not 24/7, but, every single day, constantly wrestling.
Didn't Ricky say he made $1,500 a week so he can retire then off that?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Julian, I'm making $1,500 a week. I'm rich. Oh, $1,500 a week is nothing to sneeze at. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's good money. Who's arguing with that? I'll take it. Give me some money. Who wants to give me some money? John?
Actually, you're supposed to give me money, actually.
Oh, yeah, I owe you money for those wrestling tickets because I'm going to see you wrestle next week. Next Saturday, right?
That's right.
Sweet.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
I'm excited.
NWA Canadian Tag Team title match.
You're in a tag team match, player.
And tonight I'm in a tournament. That's
and
fun.
when are you wrestling Onyx one-on-one?
That's this Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yeah.
Jeez, busy weekend for you.
That's good, though. It's fun.
Yeah. 2 shows in one weekend? Look at you.
Well, potentially 4 matches in one weekend.
Look at you with all these bookings.
Yeah, I know. Busy guy.
Busy guy. Well, John, so next week on the pre-show, we're going to have a lot to talk about, right? You're going to have 2 shows, possibly 2 matches or 4 matches, depending on how well you do in that tournament. So we'll recap that next week. I'm looking forward to that, man. Exciting stuff. Johnny North. A lot of wrestling. When's the last time you wrestled? It feels like it's been a while.
It's been about a month, I guess.
Oh, man. So it's been a month, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 all these shows coming up.
Also a movie review next week as well. So.
What? What are you reviewing next week?
The new Pacific Rim movie.
Okay. What's that?
I haven't seen the first one, so I can't tell you. And I don't watch trailers anymore, because if you watch a trailer, you spoil the movie.
Yeah, you basically see the whole movie in the trailer these days, eh?
So I'll tell you next week.
Okay. Have I got anything to review this week?
Well, there's always New Japan, no?
New Japan, yeah. But I already did that. There's a podcast out. Listen to my podcast. Why do we do that on the pre-show for? I already talked a little bit of New Japan. If you want the full story, listen to my New Japan podcasts. Like I said last week on the pre-show, I'm not going to fill the pre-show with New Japan stuff. If you want to hear the New Japan stuff, we got a separate show for that now. Separate show. Now, the New Japan podcasts are going to be specials. It's not like I'm going to do a New Japan show every week, but I'm going to throw them out there periodically when it's necessary. I mean, we have the New Japan Cup going on right now, right? So there's a show like every day. So there's a lot to recap. I did 4 shows. I recapped in one episode. 4 more shows I'll recap in the next one, and I'll preview the finals. And then that'll be it until probably Genesis, which is their next show in April, their next big show. Not you, Genesis. Not Johnny North. Not North Genesis. New Japan Genesis. Right?
For now.
I believe that is the next big New Japan show. I'm just looking at the New Japan calendar here. Yep, Sakura Genesis on the 30th of March. Strong Style Evolved, taking place on the 26th of March in Long Beach, California.
That's the Rey Mysterio show.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's coming up soon. But, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do a podcast for Strong Style Evolved. But I will probably do a preview show or a review show, or maybe both, for Sakura Genesis, because that's going to be a big event.
Well, I'll have to get caught up, obviously.
Yeah. I want you to join this New Japan stuff. Like, I did the podcast this week, talked about New Japan, but I basically was just talking to myself. And I know a lot of you guys out there, you listen, you downloaded it, I got your feedback. I'm very grateful that you guys are on board with this new venture that we're in. And I know the first show was it felt a little bit bland to me, to be quite honest, because I didn't have anybody to talk to. I did the Periscope show for Fastlane. I had all these people to talk to. People were live. It was a live video. I had people to talk to. It was fun. It was lively. We do Wrestling Uncensored. You and I were talking. But with New Japan, I got nobody to talk to about this stuff. I could go on Periscope, but people on Periscope are just going to start asking me about the WWE or the UFC, you know? My brother doesn't watch New Japan. I can't do a podcast with him. You don't watch New Japan. I can't do a podcast with you. I need somebody out there to be my co-host on my New Japan show. So, you know, one of you guys out there need to step up or, I don't know, man. I think you need to step up, John. I think it's you that needs to step up.
Well, you have to understand this week there's a lot going on in terms of watching wrestling with the pay-per-view.
That's nothing. Nothing. You watch nothing compared to what I watched this week, John. Nothing. Do I really need to recap it for you? The New Japan Cup started on the 9th of March. The 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 18th, 21st shows. And they're a minimum 2 hours each. And I watched Raw and SmackDown and Fastlane.
I remember feeling like, man, it's a great week, and I could watch maybe 4 hours of wrestling a week. That's a great week. I remember that's how it used to be. Now it's like 4 hours, like you barely watched anything.
There's not enough time in the day to watch everything. There's not. Because right now I'm sitting here talking to you about New Japan and WWE. I'm not watching Ring of Honor. I'm not watching Impact. I'm not watching Stardom, the women's promotion over in Japan. There's a lot of stuff I'm not watching. But I would like to watch it. And that's the dream, John. That's the future of Wrestling Uncensored, where we do nothing but watch wrestling, all the companies, and we talk about it.
I have to say, you have an amazing girlfriend that she puts up with it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I watch a lot of those shows late at night. She's not always, around when I'm watching New Japan. She comes into the room, and I'm like, all right, I'll pause this. We'll watch something else, whatever. But my son's watching a lot of New Japan with me. He likes it.
It's kind of forced at this point.
Yeah, he has no choice. He doesn't really know what he's watching either. He's 8 months old. What does he know? He's a baby.
Well, maybe, it gets in his head a bit, and grows into him a bit.
Yeah. So he knows that this weak WWE stuff, that's not real professional wrestling. The real wrestlers, they're out in Japan hitting each other with live rounds.
Yeah, I think it's too early to tell what he likes and doesn't like, but... Well, Finn Balor, that's about it. So
yeah, he likes Finn Balor. That's a good start.
Seems like it's WWE so far, winning.
Yeah. I think he likes Okada as well.
You have to understand, WWE's smart. They know how to market to kids.
Yeah, that's true. New Japan is not for kids. New Japan is wrestling for adults. It's wrestling for wrestling fans. For people that really appreciate professional wrestling, if you really like wrestling, New Japan is for you. If you just want to watch like a show on TV that's kind of based around wrestling, that's WWE. If you're kind of relaxed when watching wrestling and you're just whatever, you like wrestling, but you're not that hardcore about it, that'll be just fine for you. But if you're super hardcore and you're not happy with WWE because they're not delivering the product that you want, New Japan is where you need to go. I've realized that. I figured that out. And I'm very happy that I figured that out. I feel like I should have realized this years ago. I'm late on the New Japan train, and I recognize that. But if you're a real wrestling fan, if you really like wrestling, you're obviously frustrated by the WWE. There's no way you can't be. It's a frustrating product to watch if you're a real wrestling fan. So you watch New Japan, and honestly, since I started watching New Japan, I'm less angry with the WWE. Because it's like, yeah, whatever. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. WWE's going to WWE. If I want something good, I'll just go watch New Japan.
The thing is, if WWE is going to be good in anyone's eyes, now would be the time because we're on the road to WrestleMania. So you would expect you're seeing the best right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cool matches being set up. But, I don't know. I just watched a New Japan show, and some Suzuki-gun guys were teaming up to face some Los Ingobernables guys, and Naito and Suzuki had a really interesting exchange, and then at the end of the match, Suzuki laid down his Intercontinental title and challenged Naito to come in, and Naito looked like he was going to, but then he was like, nah, tranquilo, I'm not doing that. But we're setting up down the road Naito versus Suzuki for the Intercontinental title. I think that's probably going to be a match at Sakura Genesis. Now, you can talk all you want about what's going on at WrestleMania, but for me, I could not be more excited to see possibly Naito versus Suzuki for the IC title. That's going to be ridiculous. Ridiculous. You talk about dream matches, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. That's all well and good. New Japan did it like 3 years ago, though. Go back and watch that match. I bet you it'll be better than whatever they do at Mania. Not to say they won't have a great match at WrestleMania by WWE standards. I'm just saying the standards are higher in New Japan. The standards for a great match are higher over there. It's a fact.
I think they have a lot more freedom in terms of what they can do in a match. In WWE, I think there's some restrictions on what you can and cannot do.
Big time.
However, it is WrestleMania. It more than likely might be the last match. So I think they just might say, go out there, do what you want.
Maybe. But it's a WWE. I doubt it. And you're right. You're given way more freedom in Japan to do what you want and to take risks. That's why the wrestling is a little bit more fun to watch. It's a little less safe. Guys are willing to go out there and try more things.
Well, I feel with the audience, too, I think you have to work harder in order to gain their appreciation. I'm not saying that the fans in WWE just say this is awesome to everything, but I find it comes very easy.
It comes way too easy. WWE fans are way too easily impressed. And they chant, this is awesome to pretty much anything. Guys face off in the ring and they chant, this is awesome. Nothing's happened. And WWE is way more promo-based. You know, it's a promo-based show. You watch the WWE show, most of the program that you're watching is talking. In New Japan, you don't get any promos. You get maybe one promo at the end of the show. Whoever's in the main event, the winner of the main event, will cut a promo at the end of the night. And that's it. That's the only promo you get. You get one promo. So if you're Tanahashi and you're not in the main event, you're not cutting a promo that night. But when Tanahashi had his match in the New Japan Cup and he beat Bad Luck Fale in an excellent match, he did a little promo. He did his air guitar thing for a long time. I didn't really get that. I don't really understand the whole air guitar thing with Tanahashi. He, like, goes in the ring and poses and, like, plays air guitar, and the crowd seems to love it. I was watching it for a while, and I was like, this is just weird. I don't, maybe it's a Japanese thing. Like, culturally, I don't get it, but I don't know. Tanahashi's air guitar doesn't really do it for me. I love him. I think he's great. Go Ace. But, I don't know. The air guitar celebration was a bit weird. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, the WWE... You come out, you start the show, promo. Somebody else comes out, promo. Then you might have a match, and then promo. And then another little match, and then promo. New Japan, it's match, promo, go home.
It's in the presentation. WWE presents it more like a soap opera. Japan, it's more like a sport.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong either way.
It's different strokes for different folks, right? People like it one way, people like it the other. I like both. I like both products. I'm a WWE fan for life. I'm a New Japan fan now. But I definitely appreciate the work that they put into New Japan as opposed to what they do in WWE, where it's like you watch the shows and a lot of the guys on the roster feel like they're not pulling their weight. It feels like they're not really bringing it. Whereas in New Japan, you're either bringing it or you're not on the roster anymore.
Yeah, it's a totally different atmosphere, without question, I think, when you're just looking at the product.
So you can make your choice. You can watch both. You can watch one or the other. Whatever you want to do. But if you're going to be watching, listen to my podcast. All right? You want to talk about WWE? We're on the road to WrestleMania, brother.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, this is Mick Foley, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Santino Varela, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Yeah, welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. We're here on TSN 690 every Saturday night talking professional wrestling. And, of course, always online at WrestlingUncensored.net. There's so much going on at WrestlingUncensored.net. You got to get yourself over there. Johnny North and I just wrapped up the world-famous Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. If you're listening to this on the radio, you're missing out on so much more Wrestling Uncensored content. We are non-stop professional wrestling 24/7. This show is extended, an extended version available on our iTunes feed. Go subscribe to Ringside Report Podcast or Wrestling Uncensored Podcast. It's all the same on our iTunes feed. And go to WrestlingUncensored.net. You can catch not only the world-famous Wrestling Uncensored pre-show, but my Fastlane post-show. I was live on Periscope with you. It's on YouTube. It's on Periscope. The video feed is on our website. The podcast-only feed is on iTunes. I was live with you right after Fastlane this past Sunday, and it was a lot of fun talking to you guys after Fastlane. We recapped the last pay-per-view from the WWE before WrestleMania. All of that's available at WrestlingUncensored.net, and that's not all. The New Japan Cup is also going on. New Japan Pro Wrestling, a great tournament that they're doing, some unbelievable action, and I did a little podcast special for the New Japan Cup that you can also download over at WrestlingUncensored.net. I don't know if you realize this, but we are non-stop professional wrestling. We are wrestling machines. Johnny North, more so in the ring, me more so with the consuming of all the professional wrestling content, and then doing out the podcast for you. I'm not a wrestler. Johnny North is, though, and he joins me here tonight. Johnny North, Wrestlemania is 3 weeks away, brother.
It is. It's funny, you don't say you're a wrestler, but you think you have big arms, though.
I got some decent-sized arms. Not for a pro wrestler, but for an ordinary man.
Well, actually, if you look at wrestlers today don't have that big arms.
Yeah. I've been in indie locker rooms, John, and not to disparage anybody, but I've been bigger than some of the wrestlers, and I'm not a huge guy.
You could do it if you want.
Be a pro wrestler?
It's not impossible.
You think I could do it?
Yeah, it's very possible.
I'd like to have one match in my life, at least.
That'd be awesome.
I'd also like to team with you in that match. If I were to ever have a wrestling match, I would like to be your tag team partner. And then when it gets a little, grisly, I'll just tag you in. Oh, chops are coming. Okay, John, your turn.
We'll have to work on that. We'll see.
I want to learn how to do the laughing chop like Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki, I'm just getting so excited about it. Minoru Suzuki is the Intercontinental Champion in New Japan, right? And he'll take chops from guys, and they'll just chop him, and then he'll go, ha ha ha, like just laughing in their face, and then he fires back with the most vicious, explosive chop. It's like a gunshot going off. It's so nasty. The sound is so vicious, and the guy just goes down. He takes all these chops, and Suzuki's just looking at him like, are you kidding me? And then when he's done, he's like, ha ha ha, and then he slaps him right in the chest, and the guy just explodes, because I think Suzuki's the toughest guy in all pro wrestling. If I had one dream match to make in all of professional wrestling, it would be Minoru Suzuki versus Brock Lesnar.
I was just going to say, like you said, toughest guy. I think Brock Lesnar, to me, is the toughest guy in wrestling. Even though, again, he wasn't on Raw this week, he's still the guy.
And let's begin with Brockulus, with Big Broccoli Lesnar, the WWE Universal Champion, once again not on WWE Raw. And it was an interesting way to start Raw, right? We had Kurt Angle in the ring this week saying, oh, Brock Lesnar is not here tonight. And then, of course, Roman Reigns arrived, and he says, oh, well, what kind of penalty is Brock going to get for not showing up 2 weeks in a row? And I know Brock won't be punished because he's Vince's boy. And then Roman goes backstage to the gorilla position, right to Vince McMahon, and he's all mad. And Vince says, "Oh, okay, pal, let's go speak in my office." And then we go to commercial break. And when we come back from commercial break, Renee Young is outside Vince's office, and Roman Reigns walks out of the office but doesn't give a comment to Renee. And here comes Vince. That's right, Vince McMahon himself, quite frankly, was on Raw this week. And Vince said, should I do it in the Vince voice, the Vince promo?
Of course.
Okay. Well, so this is what Vince said, okay? Vince says, Brock isn't my boy. He's not anybody's boy. Brock is a man. What a man he is. Oh, look at those arms. Oh. And Vince Vince then says that he told Roman Reigns to know his role and shut his mouth. He said, I told Roman something that his cousin made famous. Know your role and shut your mouth. Brock doesn't like people, and that's okay. And that doesn't make Brock a bad guy. It just makes Brock who he is. And maybe Brock doesn't respect the WWE Universe, and he does respect one thing, and that's competition. So he'll be at WrestleMania, and Brock will be on Raw next week. I guarantee it. And Roman Reigns has been temporarily suspended, not for steroids, but for crossing the boss. He's lucky he wasn't fired. How was that, John?
Well, you ad-libbed the steroid part, but yeah, it's good.
Did I say steroids? Oops. Sorry. Sometimes I go into Vince mode and I don't even know what I'm saying. I just blank out and I become Vince McMahon.
You're actually more Vince around like the Attitude Era. You're not like old man Vince.
No. I'm not like, it's me, Vince McMahon, pal. And no, I'm crazy Vince. I'm Mr. McMahon. I'm Vince, damn it. Sable, come here. I'm that Vince. That's my favorite version of Vince. I also like, welcome everyone. I like that Vince too. To WrestleMania 3. I like that Vince.
Pandemonium.
It's pandemonium! What a maneuver! I like that Vince, too, but I think my favorite Vince is, pal! Crazy Vince! Sexual Vince! Genetic jackhammer Vince!
Yeah, he's not looking like that these days, unfortunately.
No, it's a different Vince now.
But it was cool for that to happen, and to me, that was the best part of Raw, and it's the beginning of Raw, unfortunately. So they really should have done it the other way around, in my opinion. That should have ended Raw.
Can I just pat myself on the back here, though, John? After seeing Raw this week, are you not convinced that Brock Lesnar no-showing Raw a few weeks ago was a work, like I said it was? Everybody in the wrestling world said it was real. Oh, Brock really didn't show up. Dave Meltzer, all these people, all these so-called insiders, all these so-called reporters were saying, no, it's real, guys. Brock really didn't show up. Brock's a jerk, isn't he? And I said, a little too convenient, isn't it? For Brock not to show up and then Roman is able to cut that promo? Before that night, everybody was Team Brock, everybody was Team Kill Roman. And then after, it's like, screw Brock. He won't even show up. He doesn't respect me, and I'm a paying customer. How come Brock doesn't respect me? I hope Roman Reigns kicks his ass. And that was a desired response. Okay? It's fake, guys. It's fake. It's pro wrestling. Nothing's real. Okay? It was a work. Brock was never supposed to be at Raw a couple weeks ago. And this week on Raw, he was also not supposed to be there. And if you think Brock Lesnar no-showed this week on Raw, I don't understand what you're watching. Or, no, sorry, scratch that. You don't understand what you're watching. If you think Brock actually no-showed again, you are sorely mistaken. Do you think Roman Reigns went backstage and got in Vince's face and they had it all on camera and that was not scripted? Come on now. Please. These Brock no-shows are part of the storyline. Why do people like Brock Lesnar? Because when he shows up, he's awesome. Why do people dislike Brock Lesnar? Because he never shows up. So how do you get people to get mad at Brock Lesnar? Have him not show up when he's supposed to show up. When he's supposedly supposed to show up. Oh, we told you Brock was going to be here. I can't believe he didn't show up. What a jerk that Brock is. Don't you just hate him? And that's the desired effect for WrestleMania. You're supposed to hate Brock Lesnar. You're supposed to love Roman Reigns. And you're also supposed to think that Roman Reigns isn't Vince McMahon's hand-picked boy. And that's why this week on Raw, Roman said, Brock is Vince's boy. That's why he's not getting punished. And I'm leading the rebellion against Vince and his guys. When in reality, Roman Reigns is the number one Vince guy. He's Vince's guy. The only reason we're seeing Roman Reigns so much is because Vince has deemed him the next Cena, the next Hogan, the next guy, the next great superstar to lead the company into the future. That's who Roman Reigns is. He is Vince's boy. And what they were trying to convince you this week was that he is not Vince's boy, was that he is the people's guy. He's the people's champ, standing up to Vince and his boy, Brock Lesnar. Because I'm Roman Reigns, and I fight for the people, and I always show up, and I'm a workhorse, and I work so hard. Because I'm the only guy who works house shows and TV. Forget everybody else on the roster. I work really hard. I'm Roman Reigns. Don't you see the hard work I'm putting in? I don't get to see my family. Nobody gets to see their family, Roman. And also, nobody gets to main event WrestleMania as often as you do. So anybody trying to convince the audience that Roman isn't the handpicked guy, that Roman isn't Vince's boy, that Roman, for some reason, deserves his spot, you are sorely mistaken. Do not let the WWE work you into cheering for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. You will regret it. If you are a ticket-buying customer, if you are in attendance at WrestleMania, do not fall into the trap of the WWE. Do not chant at Roman Reigns, "You deserve it," because he does not deserve it. The WWE wants you to think he deserves it, but he deserves nothing. He deserves a beating from Brock Lesnar. That's what he deserves, because if he wants that spot, he better take what's coming to him. And that's a vicious beating from the hands of the Great Beast, who will probably be on Raw this week because we're 3 weeks out from WrestleMania, and he's got to show up at some point. But please, this no-showing Brock stuff, I told you guys a couple weeks ago it was BS. Brock didn't no-show. Brock wasn't supposed to be there. They fooled you. They fooled 95% of the people in the wrestling world. Except for you, because you're smart and you listen to Wrestling Uncensored, because in Wrestling Uncensored, we give you the real story. That's why we are the number one wrestling show in the world, because we are not fooled. We are not fools. We do not toe the company line. We tell you exactly what's really going on with the WWE, not what they're trying to feed you every Monday night.
I can understand why people fell for it, though.
Pipe bomb.
Yeah, it was somewhat, kudos to you. But you have to understand that they took something that was very real, which was the resentment for Brock Lesnar, which you've been spewing for months now about how Brock is a terrible champion because he's never there.
Yes, which is real. That part is real. But him no-showing is fake. They're trying to drum up that resentment. But you know what? Brock Lesnar not showing up doesn't make me like Roman Reigns anymore. The promos that he's doing are making me like Roman Reigns more because he's showing some fire, he's showing some anger, and I think he's showing some of his real feelings. Now, he's not mad that Brock is no-showing Raw. He's mad that Brock never shows up on Raw. And he's got a right to be mad. The whole roster's got a right to be mad at the guy who's on top, who's not very nice to any of the other wrestlers, who doesn't talk to anybody. He makes more money than everybody else. He's got a better schedule. He's booked stronger than everybody else. And, oh, by the way, when he's in the ring with his opponents, the guys on the roster that are working hard, that are there day in, day out, when he's in the ring with you guys, he doesn't care where you land when he throws you. He does not care about your safety. He does not care about anything. If you don't like it, too bad. What are you going to do about it? You going to hit Brock back? That's not a good idea. Braun Strowman tried hitting Brock back. Look how that turned out for him. Brock punched him right in the face. Okay, Brock is a trained UFC heavyweight champion. Brock is a legitimate fighter, and he is a bully. He is a bully. Because he's only doing that to guys in WWE, tossing them on their head, punching them in the face. He's only doing that because he can. If he was in the ring with Stipe Miocic or Cain Velasquez and they were supposed to work a wrestling match, Brock's not taking liberties with those guys because those guys would beat the hell out of Brock Lesnar. Because Brock Lesnar is not the toughest man in the world. He's only the toughest man in the WWE. And he likes that. And he likes to throw his weight around. Because he is a bully. And he's not nice to the other wrestlers. He doesn't care about his fellow wrestler. Because what are they going to do? They can't hit him back because he's going to hit them worse. And they can't complain to management because management doesn't care what Brock does because Brock is going to Brock. And that's just the way it is. So, of course, the wrestlers are resentful of Brock Lesnar. He makes more money. He hurts me when I'm in the ring with him. He has the title. He always beats me. He never talks to me. He's not a good brother, you know? Brock is not a good brother. Brock is a jerk. He's allowed to be. He's a draw. He is who he is. He's a once-in-a-lifetime type of athlete. Okay. But I understand why the other wrestlers are resentful. That makes perfect sense to me. But I can also understand why other wrestlers might also be resentful of Roman Reigns. Maybe he takes care of you in the ring. Okay. Maybe he's working the same dates as the other wrestlers. Okay, check. Is he better than the other wrestlers? Is he more entertaining? Has he earned the spot? Nope. In the ring? Nope. On the microphone? Nah, not really. He's doing better. He has his moments. He's got a good look. He looks cool. He looks like a superhero. And I've heard Roman Reigns is a very good brother. You know, all the guys backstage, they like him, and that's cool. But there's got to be some resentment when the guy is not better than you, making more money, booked stronger. Like, I don't know how Seth Rollins feels about Roman Reigns. I'm not a big Seth Rollins fan. I don't think Seth Rollins is the best wrestler in the world. But I think that if you look at Seth and Roman and you compare them, objectively, Seth is a more talented performer. Now, Seth doesn't get the same push as Roman. He's not going to be the next John Cena. He's not going to be that guy. I'm not saying he should be. But I'm just saying, for example, here's a guy like Seth Rollins who's very similar to Roman and maybe even a little bit better. Why him? Why Roman? Why not Seth?
The bloodline. I think that is a lot.
So, family. Because his father. That doesn't seem fair.
He has a better look.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he has a better look.
Okay. Maybe he cuts a slightly better promo.
Well, let's remember Seth Rollins when he was WWE champion.
Terrible.
There you go.
In the ring, though, Seth is by far the better performer than Roman Reigns. I thought Seth and Finn Balor had a really good match this week, and I thought the finish was fantastic.
It was very good.
It was amazing. It was very intelligent. It was a finish for people that pay attention, and I really like that. I really like that. Finn Balor wound up beating Seth Rollins because Finn countered a move that Seth always hits, right? Seth does a superplex, and then he rolls through when he lands a superplex and hits a Falcon Arrow. And Seth was about to do that. Boom, superplexes Finn, tries to Falcon Arrow. Finn hooks his leg, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. Finn wins. Beautiful finish. Because it wasn't a finisher that hit him. It wasn't, it was just intelligence. Finn saw Seth's next move coming. He countered, and he beat him. It felt real. It felt good. It felt right. Hell of a finish. Whoever came up with that finish, kudos to you. You did a hell of a job. Was it the agent? Was it Finn? Was it Seth? Whatever. Whoever was in on that, we don't know. We don't know these things. That's the tough part about doing this show, You want to give credit to somebody, but you don't know who to credit. Like, was that Finn Balor? Was that his genius idea? Who knows, right? It's hard to tell until you hear them interviewed about that match, and then they say, yeah, you know, Seth came up with the finish or whatever. It's hard to tell who to give credit to, right? But I'm going to give credit to Seth, to Finn, and whoever was backstage working on that match with them, because the finish was one of the most perfect finishes that I've seen in WWE in a very long time. It was just very smart. You know, it was a great way to finish a TV match on Raw. Perfect.
When I talk about matches on Raw, that was definitely the match of Raw. Should have been the main event, although we didn't end the show with that. And that's too bad for Finn, because to me, this is his shining moment. I don't think he's going to win WrestleMania. They gave him this because this is all he's getting.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think Seth's going to win at WrestleMania.
So Seth will be the Intercontinental Champion?
I believe so.
I'm not mad about that. I'm fine with that. Seth versus Finn versus Miz is the match for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. It's not going to be Braun Strowman and Elias crowbarred into it to make it a 5-way, because we found out this week in the main event of Raw, we had a tag team battle royal. The Good Brothers, Axel and Bo Dallas, Titus Worldwide, Slater and Rhino, and The Revival all fell to Braun Strowman in a tag team battle royal. Braun Strowman was somehow allowed to be in the tag team battle royal, where the winner got a shot at the bar for the Raw tag team titles at WrestleMania. So Braun Strowman has earned himself a tag team title shot at WrestleMania against the bar. I thought that was an interesting main event. I'm happy with that being the main event. It was a match to determine a match for a title at WrestleMania. Like, Finn and Seth didn't really mean anything. It was just a match continuing to build their feud going into Mania, whereas this match here, not only did it, I thought it was a perfect main event, actually, John, because not only did it give you an answer for WrestleMania, it also left you with questions for next week. It's a great cliffhanger for Raw, and that's what Raw needs to do. They need to leave you at the end of the show needing to find out what happens next. And my question is, well, is Braun Strowman going to take on Sheamus and Cesaro by himself, or are they going to make him have a tag team partner? I think they make him have a tag team partner. You think it's going to be Elias? I think it'd be a little bit weird, but hey, you know, Sheamus and Cesaro were feuding, and they were put together as a tag team, and look where they are now. Elias and Strowman are feuding. Maybe you do the same thing, and they have a long tag team run.
My problem with the main event is you buried pretty much the entire tag team division on Raw. So all those guys mean nothing now. And you did it to put over one guy. One guy is better than all the other tag teams. It's a little much. And you destroyed the idea of that match. Tag Team Battle Royal, usually, one goes out, the team's out.
Yeah, if one guy gets eliminated, the whole team gets eliminated. That's not how it was this time.
Because they had to highlight Braun and show how many eliminations he can get.
Yeah.
That's why they extended it to make Braun look even more impressive. They didn't have to do that, but they did it because they're really forcing it down your throats. That's my problem with the main event. I shouldn't be like, wow, this made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. It didn't make the rest of the tag teams on Raw look good. But let's be honest, the tag teams on Raw have not been looking good. Who did you really bury there? Apollo and Titus? They've already been buried. Slater and Rhino? Axel and Dallas? Anderson and Gallows even kind of going nowhere. The Revival, you know? I understand your point, like, oh, you kind of buried the whole tag team division on Raw, but what was a tag team division on Raw? It's already been buried. You just buried them a little bit deeper. And they did have a nice little moment before on the show, right? When Cesaro and Sheamus were in the ring, it looked like they were going to wrestle Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, but Dallas and Axel jumped the bell. They started attacking him. And then the Revival showed up. They started attacking him, and the Good Brothers. And then Slater and Rhino and Titus Worldwide, like the whole tag team division came to beat up on Sheamus and Cesaro. So they had their moment there to look strong. And then at the end of the night, they all fought to Braun Strowman.
Well,
but it was in a battle royal. Like, nobody got pinned. Nobody got tapped out. They just got tossed over the top rope by a giant. You don't kill the idea of a tag team. You just, you know, show that Braun Strowman as an individual is stronger than all of them as individuals. Which makes sense because he's one of the top single stars on Raw, right? I don't think it was that bad for the tag team division. Like, it wasn't great, but it's not as bad as if Braun Strowman goes to WrestleMania by himself to face the Bar and wins. That would be bad. Because already you have the Bar as a top tag team, right? They've beat all the other tag teams on Raw. If they lose to one man, they don't look very good, and all the other tag teams that they beat look even worse. So the Bar cannot lose to Braun if he's by himself. Braun and Elias, fine. Braun and Rey Mysterio, which is a cool idea, I wouldn't mind seeing, fine. Braun and Kane, Braun and Big Show, Braun and whoever. I don't really care. Braun and somebody, they can beat the Bar. But Braun by himself would make the Bar look very bad if, they're the tag team champions. They shouldn't lose to one man in a 2-on-1 match.
Well, going into WrestleMania, this is not what I was expecting for Braun at all.
Me neither.
Destroyed Triple H at Survivor Series. Was feuding with Brock Lesnar all the way up to this point. Destroyed everybody in the Elimination Chamber except for Roman. And ends up in the tag team title match. I didn't see this one coming. It just seems like, well, we have nowhere else for you. You're going here. And we'll figure out the rest as we go along.
I think they ran out of ideas. And they're like, let's just make Braun with the tag team. I think they had nothing for Sheamus and Cesaro. They had nothing for Braun, so they said, okay, just put them together.
You can somewhat throw it in that they threw him in the dumpster truck as well, I guess. It was more the Miz behind all that, but he threw that away. So there's not a lot of history with him and the Bar.
No.
It's not a match you really get excited for. I mean, the excitement is who's his tag team partner going to be. And to me, looking at the options, there's nothing to get really excited about.
What if it's Rey Mysterio?
It's okay at best.
Oh, come on now. Rey returning. He had a little spot in the Rumble. If he were to come back here as Braun Strowman's tag team partner, Rey versus Cesaro and Sheamus, Rey and Braun, and then you have possibly after WrestleMania, Rey and Braun as the Raw Tag Team Champions, that's fun, man. I'd be excited for that. I'd be very happy if it was Rey Mysterio. If it's Elias and Braun, I really don't care. It's a match where I'm like, yeah, I don't know how much attention I'm going to be paying to that match on a 6-hour WrestleMania card. When we recap WrestleMania, will we even mention Elias and Braun versus the Bar? Who cares about that match? But Rey Mysterio, that's another story.
It's not something that's going to last long, and I think you know that. I mean, maybe you get it for WrestleMania, a moment, and then they'll just drop the titles the next night because Rey's not going to be there full time.
Why not?
Rey's not big into that schedule. Rey wanted just the kind of one-shot kind of deal. Maybe he'll do the Raw the next night, but that's about it.
Well, so be it.
And I can understand. I mean, given Rey's age and given the fact that he's injury prone, he doesn't want a full-time schedule. He couldn't handle a full-time schedule.
How about if he just works TV?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. But is that going to happen? I mean, Ronda's supposed to work TV, and she's not only working TV.
Well, she's not even working TV.
Well, apparently that was just for this week. Apparently she's going to be back now. Apparently they changed it now. She wasn't going to be on TV, but now she is going to be on TV again. They flip-flopped it.
Really?
Yep.
Very confusing what's happening with Ronda Rousey. Let's get to that. Because they announced a few weeks ago Ronda Rousey is going to be on every episode of Raw until WrestleMania. And then this week's episode of Raw happened, and they aired a video package for Ronda Rousey, but no Ronda. So if you bought a ticket hoping to see Ronda Rousey, you were disappointed. I really hope Ronda comes here in Montreal because Raw is going to be here April 30th and then SmackDown May 1st. Back-to-back nights. Tickets are basically sold out. You can't buy anything in the lower bowl individually for Raw. You can't. If you want to get something in the lower section for Raw, I think you have to combine it with a ticket for SmackDown. And even then, I think your ticket for Raw is going to be way up in the nosebleeds. They're opening sections for this Raw that they haven't opened for a WWE show in years. I think Raw, April 30th in Montreal, is going to be wild. It's going to be sold out, packed house, crazy. I can't wait. I think Ronda should be here because The building is going to be rocking. It's going to be like 20+ thousand. Ronda's never been to the Bell Center. I really hope they bring her here.
Very surprising because they mentioned there might be a shakeup after WrestleMania. So who knows what you're going to get when Raw comes to town.
I don't care. I'm going to Raw and SmackDown. I don't care what the shakeup is. They're bringing both shows here, John. So I get to see Raw Monday night, and I go right back to the Bell Center for SmackDown on Tuesday.
Well, I wonder.
And I'm like right there on SmackDown. You will see my face on TV. I will wave to you, John.
Well, it might be pretty dark, though, because usually SmackDown doesn't sell too well.
Yeah, SmackDown's sold quite well so far. I looked at the tickets available. Not that many tickets left for SmackDown. More tickets for SmackDown than for Raw, and the tickets for SmackDown are cheaper as well, which I thought was interesting. But I think it's going to be pretty packed for SmackDown. Not as packed as for Raw. Raw's going to be, I think, sold out.
It just goes to show name brand does a lot. Even though Kevin and Sami currently are on SmackDown and they're Montreal guys, the name of Raw, it sells more.
It's weird, right?
Tradition, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw, people are just used to it. And WWE is selling really well here. I think, one reason we didn't really realize when they announced these two shows, I was like, man, what are they doing 2 TV shows here for? That's kind of crazy. Recently, I think in the past year, they started airing WWE on French television in Quebec.
An hour.
Oh, it's not the full show?
It's 1 hour of Raw.
Oh, okay. It's only Raw.
Yeah, 1 hour.
That's probably why Raw sold so well. Because, you think about the province of Quebec, it's mostly French. And for years, the WWE only aired in English. And I was like, how is anybody in this province paying attention to WWE? You don't even have it on in French. Because when I was a kid, it was on in French. But then it stopped for a while. Like Ray Rougeau used to do the French commentary on RDS. And then it stopped for a while. But recently, in the past year or so, they got Raw on a French TV channel here in Quebec. And I think that's got a lot to do with WWE doing better here in this province, which is smart, man. Like, you got Kevin, you got Sami, but not just because of them. I think in general, the WWE is smart to have a French version of their TV show.
It's what they need, in a sense, to broad out more like this.
You work a lot of indie shows. The fans, a lot of them are French, right?
It's interesting. It's very bilingual. You'll get a lot of French and English chants during one match.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of Francophone wrestling fans, and the WWE not catering to them for all those years, I think, wound up hurting their business when they came to Montreal. And now, I think they're doing a lot better because they have that French language TV. Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. WrestleMania is 3 weeks away, and we still don't know where John Cena is going. We will try and figure out where Cena's going. He made a proclamation. He made his challenge this week on Raw. Will it be answered? When will it be answered? It is Wrestling Uncensored right here on TSN 69.
This is Curtis Axel, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is Antonio Cesaro, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is Trish Stratus, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored. Keep listening. Stratisfaction is guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. Follow him on Twitter at North Genesis. You can follow me at Dave Simon MMA. Always more Wrestling Uncensored, more pro wrestling action over on our website. Every episode of Wrestling Uncensored is available for download. And I have a New Japan special podcast up at WrestlingUncensored.net. We have our Fastlane recap show that we did live right after Fastlane this past Sunday. You want to hear the full Fastlane recap, you got to go to WrestlingUncensored.net. So much happening. Check me out on Twitter at Dave Simon MMA, tweeting out all the links to all the things, all the wrestling going on, all the time. New Japan Cup, WrestleMania season, Sakura Genesis. My goodness, what a time for wrestling fans right now. And what a time to be a Kid Rock fan. Oh my goodness. Kid Rock, the American badass himself, the cowboy. He's going into the WWE Hall of Fame. By God, the celebrity wing. Ba with the ba ba dang ba dang ba da ba da bang. He's doing it. Kid Rock. His name is Kid. Come on, John, get excited. You're not excited? I'm not excited either. I'm just pretending.
Who's inducting him?
Who cares?
Should be Chris Jericho, I think.
Why?
Because he's a huge Kid Rock fan.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't really care who inducts Kid Rock. I don't really care. He's going into the Hall of Fame in the celebrity wing. Yeah, it makes sense. He's been involved in WWE for a long time. He said some pretty controversial things recently. He's a Republican. He was talking about running for some sort of office in Michigan. He's a bit of a wild card.
He's an artist. They're like that.
I guess so. He's an artist more in the Ted Nugent area, I would say, these days. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, that runs right down Vince McMahon's political lane. So Kid Rock and Vince, I think, could talk politics and agree on pretty much everything. So, hey, it made sense to me. And Vince loves his music. I know that. Vince McMahon is a big Kid Rock fan. Kid Rock and AC/DC, his two favorites.
Well, Kid Rock or Fred Durst. Is Fred Durst in the Hall of Fame yet?
I don't think so.
So
that would be fantastic. Is Fred Durst still alive?
Pretty sure.
Okay, good for him.
I think it's going to happen. If not this year, obviously.
You think Fred Durst will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame?
I think without question.
My goodness, what a wing, eh? The celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. Such luminaries as Mr. T, Drew Carey, Kid Rock, Donald Trump. Wow. What a list.
Arnold
Schwarzenegger. Bob Uecker?
Yeah.
Bob Uecker. Anybody else?
I can't remember anyone
I
else.
can't think of Pete Rose, right? Pete Rose is in the WWE
Oh, yes.
Hall of Fame. Only Hall of Fame that'll have him. What a disgraceful Hall of Fame. They should call it the Celebrity Wing, the Hall of Shame.
Did they put Regis in the Hall of Fame yet?
I think Regis is in the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
He's Regis. How could he not be in the Hall of Fame? He's fantastic. He's terrific. He's Regis. God, I love Regis. Regis is good. Regis is my favorite member of the WWE Celebrity Hall of Fame, I think.
Pete Rose is pretty good.
Pete Rose is all right, but how about it? How about it? Gotta love Pete Rose. So Kid Rock entering the WWE Hall of Fame. WWE made a big mistake this week and then decided to pull back on that one. They announced that they were going to do an Andre the Giant style battle royal for the women, a battle royal at WrestleMania with women. They have the men's version, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and they announced this week that they were going to do the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal, and the internet said, not so fast, WWE. We know what the Fabulous Moolah is all about. We know what she did when she was alive. Not always the nicest lady. There are a lot of stories about her, training women's wrestlers and charging them for the training and then saying it's way more than she initially said and saying, well, you could pay me back if you go visit this man and he'll give you some money if you do certain things for him. And, she was pimping out women, allegedly. Her husband at the time or her boyfriend allegedly raped a lot of the women's wrestlers that Moolah was kind of taking care of. I don't know if you would say taking care of. She wasn't really taking care of anybody except for Moolah and her pockets. There are stories of, Moolah taking like 40%. Like the bookers would pay Moolah. Say you get $100 for your match. Booker gives Moolah the money. Moolah takes like $60 and gives you $40. And that was a deal with a lot of people in Fabulous Moolah. A lot of stories like that. Wendy Richter at one point didn't want to do business with the WWE anymore, so Moolah concocted a screw job finish. It might have been the first screw job finish in the WWE. This is way before Brett. Wendy Richter got screwed by Moolah and the WWE. And for some reason, for years and years, the WWE has chosen to ignore the indiscretions of the fabulous Moolah and just say, oh, what a great pioneer for women and women's wrestling and da-da-da. And it's like, wait a second. She wasn't. She was a bad person. If Fabulous Moolah was around today, she'd be up on charges. She'd be going to jail. And a lot of these women in the WWE that are wrestling today saying, oh, you know, I just grew up admiring the Fabulous Moolah and I want to be just like her. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're just saying that because the WWE says it's the right thing to say. But it's not the right thing to say. It's a bad thing to say. Okay? And Stephanie McMahon realized her error. And I was tweeting about this a lot this week, right? I was on it. And Johnny North, you were against me for some reason, and I don't know why. But you can explain yourself here. But WWE realized on Monday they announced a Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. On Thursday, they realized, oh, we got to just call it the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal because maybe we shouldn't be naming anything after the Fabulous Moolah. You know? What are you going to do next? Name the Jimmy Snuka Memorial Battle Royal? The Chris Benoit match? Like, come on now. You can't name things after the Fabulous Moolah. You just can't do it. She might have been nice to Stephanie when she was a little girl, but she wasn't nice to a lot of other people, and that's what counts. Stephanie McMahon tweeting out on Thursday, thank you, WWE Universe, for using your voice. What remains most important is that the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal will be a historic match and is part of WWE's unwavering commitment to our women's division. # Women's Evolution. # change the name. They changed the name. Good move, WWE. They needed to change the name. I can't believe that they thought they could get away with naming anything after Moolah. We've talked about Moolah on the show. Like a couple months ago, we had a little talk about Fabulous Moolah and how she wasn't that nice of a lady and how it's weird how the WWE still will mention her in kind of glowing terms, but we never thought that they would name a match after her. We never thought that they would bring her back in such a way where you really remember her, and they aired a video package about how great she was on Smackdown this week. It was crazy. Why do they think that they could get away with that?
Well, because before all this happened, they liked Moolah a lot. And then this happened.
No. The stuff happened while they liked Moolah. Like, the stuff had happened, things had happened, maybe she stopped doing whatever she was up to, but, you know, when Moolah was in WWE and, you know, she was hanging out, she was on Raw, she had done a lot of bad things in the past, including the screw job of Wendy Richter, which happened on WWE TV, on Vince's watch.
Then I'm sure Vince looks back on that, and I don't think he has a problem with it, really.
Maybe not.
But
maybe he doesn't have a problem with a lot of the things Moolah did.
I don't think he did, up to the point where someone sent a complaint to Snickers.
Yep, the Mars Company. Once again, Snickers saves the day. Hungry? Grab a Snickers.
I'm not a big fan of Snickers.
I like Snickers. I love a good Snickers. I like a Mars bar. I like a Snickers.
More of an old Henry kind of guy, I guess.
Yeah, so the Mars Company, which owns Snickers, and WrestleMania brought to you by Snickers. Snickers said, hey, WWE, we don't think it's very cool that you're naming something after the Fabulous Moolah. And then the WWE said, oh, well, it's one thing if a bunch of internet people are saying it and, you know, everybody in the wrestling world is kind of saying, shame on you, WWE. But wait a second, our major sponsor, Snickers, is mad. Well, we will pull the name right away. Sorry, Snickers, our bad. Thank you, Snickers. Giving a free plug to Snickers right now. You know what I like about Snickers? The commercials that they do. Those commercials are excellent. You know, when it's like one guy and he's like all mad, and then, you know, it's like Danny DeVito or something, because he's all mad because he doesn't have a Snickers, and then he eats a Snickers, and it's somebody else. It's like a lady or something.
I think it's Joe Pesci.
Oh, yeah, Joe Pesci's in a Snickers commercial. Whatever, man. I like those commercials. They're good. There was a Betty White one, too, I think.
Yeah, there was a Betty White one.
Yeah. I like those Snickers commercials. I like Snickers.
Is Betty White in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
I
think so.
I believe Moolah is still in the WWE Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yeah, and whatever. They don't have to remove her. They just don't have to honor her anymore. Like, they've honored her enough. That's enough. No more Moolah. Okay, WWE? I really hope they learn their lesson. You know what's crazy is that they made a trophy. Like, you know, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner gets a trophy of Andre? They made a Moolah trophy. And I guess they don't have time to make a new trophy to name it after somebody else, because instead of naming it after Moolah, they're just like, it's now the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. Not named after anybody. Why not name it after Wendy Richter? Why not name it after Sherry Martel? Why not name it after China? I know China's not going to happen, even though I think they should. Like Andre, they called him the 8th wonder of the world. They called China the 9th wonder of the world. Fabulous Moolah exploited the wrestling business. China was exploited by the wrestling business. Let's honor China. WWE probably won't, but I think it would be awful big of them if they said, we're naming this the China Memorial Battle Royal. We don't talk about her porn. We don't talk about anything. We just say China paved the way for women in wrestling, which she did. She's the only woman to ever hold the Intercontinental Championship. It'll probably never be done again. First woman to enter a Royal Rumble. China was major. WWE doesn't want to acknowledge that, but they probably should. And I think they would have a lot of respect from the wrestling world if they did.
Given all the headaches they got over this, I think it's just going to be called the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal now. That's it.
Probably.
No headaches for that.
But can't they just name it after somebody that doesn't have a checkered past?
It's tough. It's a very PC world we live in now because everyone's done something.
Yeah, but come on. Moolah, the stories are way out there, and there's a lot of them. Okay? I don't know anything that Wendy Richter has done bad. I don't know anything that Sherry Martel did bad.
Well, I think there were some stories about Sherry, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was something with Sherry, right? But I don't really know the stories. The stories are kind of hidden, so whatever.
It's tough. I think that's why they're just going to be like, that's it. It's just going to be a Battle Royal, women's, that's it.
Why not the Trish Stratus Battle Royal?
I wouldn't mind that. It's not a bad idea, but I don't think they perceive her as, historic. She
Really?
should be.
I think they do.
Yeah, but not ancient, like Andre,
Pretty much every woman wrestling in the WWE right now grew up watching Trish Stratus and wanting to be like Trish.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, I think for a good chunk, she was the role model for all women's wrestlers. The look, everything. Well, some could argue Lita, of course, as well.
Yeah, but Trish and Lita.
Well, there you go. I mean, what should be the Trish and Lita Battle Royal?
Why not?
I think it's just easier. WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. You don't get any headaches that way.
Sasha Banks and Bayley, are they just going to be in the Battle Royal? Probably, right? They just need to fill spots there, right?
I think they should have a match. There's something there. I think they can have a really good match. But if it's just going to be on the pre-show, it might just get lost.
I think they might just toss him in the Battle Royal. You had Sasha Banks beating Sonya Deville this week. Bayley stopped Mandy Rose from interfering during the match, but then left after the match and allowed Absolution to beat up Sasha.
Yeah, no hugs again.
No hugs. So she's just helping Sasha because Sasha had helped her the week before, made the save for her, but that was it.
You really get the impression that Bayley is not a good person.
I think that's your impression. You just hate Bayley.
I'm just saying, that's the way it looked like.
I've never met anyone who dislikes Bayley as much as you do.
Sour grapes. I believe that's how it looks like to me.
Okay then. How about John Cena? John Cena this week cut a fantastic promo on The Undertaker. It was so good. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Cena says, I'm not going to be contributing to WrestleMania. I'm going to go as a fan. I'm going to be part of the universe because I got no opponent. I got no path. And then he says, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm not supposed to do it, but screw it. I'm going to do it anyways. I challenge you, The Undertaker. And then Cena said, Undertaker, stop hiding behind your lame excuses. Get over your own ego. You're not washed up. You're not broken down. You may have failed last year at WrestleMania, but you shouldn't fail and then disappear, never to be seen again, because that's what losers do. You see me, I keep failing, but I come back up, and I never give up, and I keep on going because I'm John Cena, because I'm a real champion. So get over yourself, Undertaker. You're not in bad shape. I see you posting workout videos on your wife's Instagram all the time. That wasn't John Cena talking to The Undertaker. That was John Cena talking to Mark Calloway, and I loved it. Taker's going to accept the challenge, right? He's got to.
Well, first, I liked that part about talking about The Undertaker. Him going in the crowd, trying to be like The Rock. I didn't like that part.
Yeah. The Undertaker part was great, though.
Well, that's it. Just keep it with that. But John Cena goes over the top too much. That's the problem with John Cena promos. But yes, The Undertaker,
I thought this promo was beautiful.
because he gave you what you wanted.
It wasn't just good. It was beautiful. It was perfect. Tears in my eyes. Goosebumps.
But I also felt like he just said, like, come out of retirement so I can beat you and you go back in retirement. That's how it kind of felt like.
No, he said, who wants to see me get my ass kicked by The Undertaker? Come on, man. He's basically saying, hey, Taker, come on, man. Let's have one more match. You do it one more time. You do a retirement match. You beat me. You go home. That's what I want to see. That's what everybody wants to see. Come on, Mark. What are you doing? Let's go.
Yeah, we know that's not going to happen, though. John Cena's not going to lose at WrestleMania. When's the last time John Cena lost at WrestleMania? I think it was The Rock, by the way.
Is that the last time Cena lost at Mania?
Look at all his opponents in the past.
Yeah.
He's pretty much just faced, Rusev, Bray Wyatt, The Miz. He didn't lose to those guys.
Do you think Cena would win?
Again, he only lost to The Rocks at WrestleMania. Like, he doesn't lose a lot at WrestleMania. Taker lost already. Taker's done. John Cena's going to win.
No, I disagree. John Cena has respect for The Undertaker. I think he wants The Undertaker to go out on a winning note. It's WrestleMania. What do you want to see at WrestleMania? You want to see Tombstone 1, 2, 3, the dead man on top. That's classic WrestleMania. That's what you watch for. You watch to see The Undertaker beat another guy. You see him do it, and then he goes off, and that's it. One match, beats Cena, goes away forever. Taker on top, retires on top, beating John Cena. Cena doesn't need to beat The Undertaker. I don't think it would mean that much because, like you said, Taker's already lost twice at Mania, including last year. And B, I just don't think that beating The Undertaker, he doesn't need that. Cena can survive having lost to The Undertaker and still be John Cena. No matter how many times Cena loses, as we've seen time and time again, Cena has lost a bunch of matches recently. You can always believe him in a winning position. It's always believable to see him win. No matter how many times he loses, you're never shocked if he beats like Brock Lesnar or The Undertaker or Roman Reigns or whatever, because he's John Cena. So even if he does lose to Undertaker, he loses nothing as far as his character.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I believe this match is merely just a replacement because that retirement match he was supposed to have with Roman Reigns was not very good. And he wants a better retirement match, a better note to end off his career. And if it's the last match in your career, usually you lose those matches.
Usually. I think that's what people will be expecting. But it's fun to surprise people. I would like to see The Undertaker lose.
We got a question about The Undertaker this week, too, by the way.
What's the question? Undertaker, this is Coach Ben59 on Twitter, says, Undertaker coming back as the American Badass? I don't think so. I think, we're near The Undertaker's end of his career. And when we see him, it's going to be the dead man.
Probably bald Taker, though.
Yeah?
Well, it looked like he had a wig on the Raw.
Did he? I don't think so.
It didn't look like it was his real hair.
On the 25th anniversary thing you're talking about? Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of Raw, coming up Monday night, the Ultimate Deletion.
That's true.
At the Hardy Compound.
Should be at WrestleMania, in my opinion. But
yeah, I thought it would be at WrestleMania, but they're doing it on Raw this Monday night. Senor Benjamin will be there, King Maxwell, Lord Wolfgang, Vanguard 1, the Dilapidated Boat, maybe Brother Nero if the courts allow it because he got arrested for a DUI.
But they already filmed it, so, is he in or not?
I don't know.
You just have to delete him pretty much. That's it.
Brother Nero must be deleted. Haven't we deleted Brother Nero already?
I believe so.
TNA doesn't count. Let's delete him again. Bray Wyatt will be deleted, though, right? I mean, Matt's got to win. It's at the Hardy compound.
There is a ref that they've sent down too as well. So
Matt wins. Matt has never lost at the Hardy compound.
I want to believe Matt would win this match, but I wouldn't be surprised if he loses, though. I've said this from the start. Like it feels like this is to get Bray over as well.
I don't know. I think Matt's going to win. I'm looking forward to it, though. It'll be fun to see what the WWE does with the Hardy compound and the Ultimate Deletion.
I have high expectations for this because Final Deletion, when it first happened, was spectacular. It was the best thing ever in TNA.
I hope they give it at least 30, 40 minutes, too.
You can give it a good hour, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you could do a full hour of this. We'll see what they do. You know what was too long? The Alexa Bliss, Mickie James backstage where they were talking smack about Nia Jax when, they had no idea they were on camera and Nia Jax was watching from the ring looking really upset. And then, what's really bad is when Nia Jax goes backstage looking for Alexa and Mickie James and just starts throwing things and screaming. Are we supposed to feel bad for Nia Jax there? Because I just think she looks ridiculous.
It felt kind of awkward. But
you know how you feel about Bayley? I feel that about Nia Jax. Not a fan. She's terrible.
I just found it really awkward that Mickie James was in a similar angle in the past where people made fun of her for being fat. Yeah. And now they're making fun of Nia for being fat. It's kind of weird.
It is weird. And I guess we'll have Alexa versus Nia for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania because Asuka officially announced that she will be taking on Charlotte. She showed up at Fastlane. She showed up on Smackdown as well. I think Asuka's going to wrestle Alexa on Raw this week.
Yep.
Asuka beat Mickie James on Raw last week. But I think Asuka and Alexa this week on Raw, it'll end with some sort of interference from Nia attacking Alexa.
I don't know if we really need this. By the way, that's not going to happen because that would result in a DQ loss for Asuka, and we're not going to get that.
You're right.
So she's going to beat her, I think, because it's non-title. So
why not? Not a great promo with Asuka and Charlotte this week on SmackDown, though. I thought Charlotte did all right, but Asuka, she doesn't really speak English. They don't need to have her speak that much. I know it's a big match, and you're trying to set it up for WrestleMania, but I don't think Asuka needs to speak as much as they've been giving her the microphone. It's a bit much. There's no reason for that. It doesn't come off that well. It doesn't help Asuka's character in any way. She doesn't need to talk.
It's really difficult because they're both faces too, right? So you're supposed to cheer for both of them, but I think this makes you side more towards Charlotte now.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm still Team Asuka all the way. I just don't know if she should be talking as much as she does. Same with Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke also Japanese, doesn't really speak English. Him and AJ Styles cut a promo at the beginning of SmackDown. It was kind of awkward there watching Shinsuke do his thing. I think the match is going to be fantastic at Mania, but they don't need to be talking so much.
And here's a huge problem with this whole AJ versus Nakamura angle. There's no heat between the two of them. That's all they have is just talking with each other. There's no beef.
There's no beef at all. You saw a little bit of it. AJ wrestled Rusev, and then Aiden English interfered, so AJ won by DQ. And Shinsuke was ringside, and he watched Aiden and Rusev beat up AJ for a little bit before he came in and hit the Kinshasa. But, he didn't make the save immediately. He let AJ take a bit of a beating. So, yes, they're friendly, they're respectful, but Shinsuke is also playing it smart and letting AJ take a little bit of a beating to soften him up for Mania.
Yeah, that's a very weak storyline, by the way. It's horrible. This is your WWE Championship feud, by the way.
I think the awesomeness of the match is what they're using to try and sell it. Shinsuke, AJ, two of the best wrestlers in the world. You don't need much else to sell it. Unfortunately, it would be nice to get a little something extra.
You know what was fun about The Rock versus Stone Cold when it was face versus face? Was that it was a fun build. It was a fun ride getting to that point. When you had The Rock team up with Deborah, like Austin's wife,
yeah,
you had a little tension right there.
Just because they're both baby faces doesn't mean they can't have tension with each other. Maybe it'll build over the next 3 weeks. We have 3 weeks. Might get there. You feel the tension between Brock and Roman. Starting to feel tension between Cena and Undertaker. There's definitely tension between Ronda and Angle and Trips and Stephanie. Charlotte and Asuka even felt like there's more heat between them than AJ and Shinsuke. And basically it's the same storyline, right? Charlotte and Asuka, both baby faces. Charlotte says she's the best. Asuka says she's the best. They both think they're going to win. AJ and Shinsuke, pretty much the same deal. AJ thinks he's the man. Shinsuke thinks he's the best. They both think they're going to win. But for some reason, it worked better with Charlotte and Asuka, maybe because of Charlotte's promo.
Also, I think it also goes to show that it just feels like one's going to win, one's going to lose, because they both won the Rumble. I think one champion will successfully defend. And
AJ?
Yeah. It just seems kind of very obvious, and I think that's a huge problem with this, is like, you know how this is going to end. So it's hard to get really excited for it.
You think you know, but we're not sure. But I believe AJ will retain. He'll beat Shinsuke, and I believe Asuka will beat Charlotte.
If you ask me, to me, Cena versus Taker, that's your main event right now. That's the most appealing match, and you kind of wonder, like we debated, like how it's going to end.
There you go. You're on Team Taker. Well, you're on Team Cena. I'm on Team Taker.
What are you talking about? What?
Well, I thought Taker was going to win. You think Cena's going to win.
Yeah, I don't want
Sorry,
Cena
John.
to win.
You're on Team Cena. As much as you may hate it, you're on Team John Cena.
Oh, always give up.
Why don't you just join Team Bella and get it over with? The Bella Army, John. The Bella Army, stronger than ever. Shane McMahon cut an in-ring promo. He talked about one member of the Bella Army, Daniel Bryan Bella. And he said Daniel Bryan will be back next week on SmackDown. He's been gone for quite a while. Shane saying also that he's going to take an indefinite leave of absence from commissioner of SmackDown. And if you saw Fastlane, you saw Shane McMahon not only get kicked in the head by Kevin Owens, but then pull him out of the ring when he was about to win the title. He pulled Sami Zayn out of the ring when he was about to win the title for some reason.
Because he got knocked into him, I believe, not mistaken.
Because Sami got knocked into Shane?
Because Sami knocked Kevin into Shane off the super kick.
Right.
So it was Sami's fault.
Sammy's fault. So Shane basically, he hates Sami and Kevin Owens, and he said, as my last act as commissioner of SmackDown, I'm making Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for WrestleMania. Kevin Owens showed up, didn't seem too happy. Sami Zayn showed up, also wasn't happy. It seemed like they were feuding with each other, but then by the end of the show, they were back together. They were attacking Shane McMahon. They put his head in a chair and then ran that chair into the ring post. And then they dragged him backstage, and Kevin powerbombed him on this metal thing. And Shane sold it like a champ. He looked like he couldn't breathe. He went all red. He was like heaving. It was pretty nasty. Pretty cool way to finish SmackDown. It was a high-impact segment, very violent, and it leaves you with more questions than answers. Sami and Kevin are supposed to wrestle each other at Mania now, but they seem like they're on the same side. All the heat that they had seems to have gone away, and now Shane McMahon just took a beating, and Daniel Bryan's going to come back to address the whole situation. How does this all shake out? Triple threat match? Shane versus Kevin versus Sami? Or, and this is the big if, okay, this is the one that I really want to see, tag team match, playa. Traditional SmackDown tag team match, playa. It's going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan.
That would be huge.
That would be ginormous, John. Couldn't get bigger than that.
I really have a hard time believing we're going down that route.
Yeah, me too. But don't you want it to happen? Hey, maybe the reason Daniel Bryan hasn't been on SmackDown for the past few weeks is because he's getting medical tests done and he's getting himself in ring shape because he's preparing for his comeback.
For someone who likes to believe, keep believing.
God, I don't ever want to stop believing that Daniel Bryan's going to wrestle again. He says he's going to wrestle again, and he's also said if he's not in a WWE ring by WrestleMania, he probably won't ever wrestle for that company again. But he has said when his contract runs out in October of this year, he is gone to wrestle. If the WWE won't let him wrestle in their ring, he'll find another ring to wrestle in. Whether it's Japan, whether it's Ring of Honor, whatever. Daniel Bryan is determined to wrestle in 2018. The WWE has a choice. They have a decision over the next 3 weeks. Are they going to allow Daniel Bryan to wrestle for them? Or are they going to let one of the greatest wrestlers to ever live walk away and work for one of their competition?
If it ends up in this supposed tag match like you're suggesting, it's a great way how this all came together. I just have a hard time believing WWE planned it like this.
Yeah, it's almost too good.
I think they want it to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen.
So if it doesn't happen, what do we get? Triple threat match?
Which is, I think, more than fine.
I don't know. But then it's just Kevin and Sami beating up on Shane.
Well, there's heat, though, with Sami and Kevin.
It didn't seem like it at the end of SmackDown. They were hugging.
They don't like each other. Well, there's hatred at times. I think it's the hatred for Shane that overrides their own hatred.
Going to be an interesting Tuesday night, right?
And there you go. A reason to watch SmackDown.
There you go. Monday and Tuesday. Some exciting stuff going on in the WWE. We're 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, and we're not too far away from Johnny North's next match that I will be at. I'll be at your next, well, maybe not your next match, but I'll be seeing you next Saturday in the ring.
Yeah, you'll see me next Saturday, Monk Boulevard, I think 5959 Monk Boulevard. And the show starts, I believe, at 7:30 for that one. And I'm wrestling just in a couple hours this Sunday, 4325 Industrial Boulevard, wrestling Onyx in a singles match, 2 p.m. bell time, tickets $5. And then Saturday it's a tag match for the NWA Canadian Tag Team titles.
So busy.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy, but it'll be fun.
So busy is the big man, Johnny North. Follow him on Twitter, at North Genesis. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA. I'll be dropping another New Japan podcast this week to recap the quarterfinals and semifinals of the New Japan Cup and preview the finals, which take place on Wednesday morning in Japan. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Check me out, WrestlingUncensored.net. Every episode of Wrestling Uncensored. If you missed anything on this show, or if you didn't download the episode, you're listening on the radio, you got to check out the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. Always more Wrestling Uncensored at WrestlingUncensored.net. Not only on our website, but on iTunes. You can subscribe and get every episode, all the podcasts that we do, the New Japan stuff, the Fastlane review, Wrestling Uncensored, the official show, Ringside Report Radio, all available when you subscribe on iTunes. And now, go check out our YouTube channel as well. We're on YouTube. All our shows will be on YouTube. Every episode of Wrestling Uncensored. Everything on YouTube. YouTube.com/RingsideReport.net with the .net spelled out. Ringside Report, DOTNET. That's all the stuff. Thanks to Jimmy and Marco for helping us out back at TSN 690. And a big thanks to you for listening. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of love for missionary. This the first time I confess. Me and Top is like a Kobe and Phil, a father figure. For him, you